Hi everybody, I'm Professor Shyamala, working as Dean Planning and the Director for Center of Informatics and Statistics in SI University. Today we are going to see about academic writing, that is from the research idea to the journal publication. Here, why we have to go about this is sometimes we will have some research ideas for publication, but we don't know how to structure the content and how to write the journal paper. So, here we will be focusing on practically how to structure a journal paper and what are all the tools available for writing a manuscript. This AI tools will reduce the total time consumption. At the same time, it will ease your work and it will tell you how we have to provide the manuscript in an effective manner. So, the research writing is a time consuming process. Often, totally, it is done in a manual way, and structuring a research paper will be very difficult for many of the researchers. Maybe their idea is good, and the generated idea they don't know how to make it in a sequential order, and with the flow, how to present it to our readers will be a challenging task. To manage that, we need several tools like reference management, even sometimes visualizing tools are required, and many researchers find difficult to make it into a publishable manuscript. So, this session will offer you how to structure your manuscript and how to go about with the tool based solutions. So, AI supports idea structuring and also drafting. It improves the clarity of your manuscript, and visual representation of your manuscript can be enhanced by using this AI tools. Speeds up literature synthesis, and it emphasizes on ethical use of the AI tools. AI assist, but it cannot be used as a replacement. We have to concentrate on the ethical means also. The plagiarism will be there. We are not emphasizing on completely copying the content from the ChatGPT or some other AI tool, but you can use it for assisting idea generation or as a referencing, and you have to replace it with your own text or you have to replace it with your own ideas. So here we can, after listening to this, you will be able to initiate your journal or conference work. Sometimes you will get the idea of scientometric studies, thesis or dissertation, and you can initiate the pattern writing also. Some of the skills can be used for enhancing your paper writing work. If you take any of the manuscript, initially you will have some idea. Based on that idea, how you are going to write your manuscript is a question mark. Like sometimes you will have a experimental data. That experimental data have to be converted to a manuscript. That is called as a experimental paper. Sometimes you haven't done any of the experiment work, but still you have an analysis data. The data have been used in some of the software tools like SPSS, RStudio, or Python, and you have the output out of it. Now your question will be how you are going to convert that into a manuscript or a paper. In such case, that kind of writing we call it as an analysis paper. Then coming to the next part is a review paper. In case of a review paper, you are not having any of the content like experimental data or analysis data, but still you are well versed in a particular topic. You are analyzing several research papers of others and you want to present it in an elegant way. That we will be doing in a review paper. In review paper, suppose if it is a critical review, minimum you have to take 150 manuscript of others publications or others research work. You have to download it, you have to read it in an effective manner. For this also you can use the tools like SciSpace or Consensus to read the manuscript. For example, you can upload the manuscript in a PDF format and you can extract the key findings of that paper, or you can check what are all the materials they have been used, what is the methodology used in a particular paper, and you should learn all those particular key findings, and you should be able to criticize their work. For example, you can say that the particular author or a particular researcher have been used this particular material and they have used this methodology. You can criticize like by using this methodology it is very difficult to get the result, and this is a controversial. On the other hand, this particular author or this particular researcher have used this material and this has been effective. You can oppose or you can admire with the findings of a particular researcher also. That is a critical review. One more thing, we have a short review also. In the short review, the total number of words is limited to 2000, and you have to provide your critics in the 2000 words alone. So in the review itself you have a different form. This reviewed manuscript will go through if your work or if your writing is very critical or in-depth analysis is there. For example, in case of in-depth analysis, I can say, you can say about my milk got spoiled. On the other hand, you have to say how your milk got spoiled is an in-depth analysis. Either you can quote about temperature or you can quote about some microbes which is important in making the milk spoil. All those things, if you are, and the chemical reaction, if all those things you are saying, that will be a critics or critical analysis. Next one is a systematic review. In the systematic review you will be going for a complete analysis of the paper. Next, in scientometric review, it is completely different. You will be using some tools like Scopus database or Web of Science database. From the database, you will take down the total number of papers which has been published in your particular field. For example, if I am giving an example, keyword of concrete, I will have a papers of 8 lakh papers, you can download it. Then I am giving another keyword like fiber. Fiber used in a concrete to enhance the strength. So it will come around some 1 lakh paper. I am giving a specific fiber, GGPS, like that. If I am giving a specific point, further the total number of paper will be reducing, and it will be giving you 50 papers or 100 papers. This tells about how many researchers are working in a specific area, like using GGPS, using a fiber, and in concrete. So this total number of papers you can read and you can find the research gap. Actually, what I am coming to say is, whenever you are starting any of the research work, it is better to go about a scientometric review, because it is very base to find the research gap of your particular thesis or a research work. So here, that 100 papers or 50 papers which you scrutinized will tell you how they have used GGPS in that particular work. So that papers you can take and you can use it for a critical review, and you can go for scientometric analysis or a bibliometric review. Scientometric review will give you a systematic review and also bibliometric part. In bibliometric part, it will give you only the analysis of the published paper. For analyzing, we will be using the tools like RStudio. So these are all some of the types of manuscript available. You have to focus in which you are going to publish your manuscript, in which you are going to start writing it. And these publishers are managed in an index journal. I think you might have know about the type of publishers like Elsevier, Springer, Taylor Francis, Wiley, MDPI. Not only that, we have IGA Global and so on. So these are the publishers who publish your manuscript. Next, coming to the indexing part, these published journals have been indexed in different categories: SCI, ICIE expanded, SSCI, ESCI and Scopus. If you take a priority, SCI have a higher weightage and Scopus have a lower weightage. Here also it is being divided into quartile. In next coming slide we will see about what are the quartile and how it is being divided. Now coming to after indexing, we have two types of publication, like free access or subscription. Free access, we call it as a open access also. For free access, the author will pay the amount to the publisher to get a free access. But in case of subscription basis, the author will not pay to the publisher. At the same time, the readers who want to read the paper will pay it and read the paper. That is called as a subscription basis. So either we can go for a free access or a subscription basis according to the journal. Sometimes some of the journal will be in a hybrid mode. Both are available, a subscription and also free access are available. It is up to your choice to choose a free access or a subscription based. And also the article publishing charges will vary depending on the journal. You have to take a concern while submitting the paper to the journal. You have to check whether it is a free access, hybrid or a subscription mode, then you have to submit. Then coming to the quartile, we have four different types of quartile. In next slide I'll explain you clearly. So we have four different types of quartile. One is 100 to 76 fall in Q1. Q1 has a higher weightage. All this quartile depends upon the citation. You might have heard about the citation of an individual author. Similarly, we have a citation for the journals also. Accordingly, it have been divided into Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. Here we have the different terms like impact factor, site score and H index. In case of impact factor, they will be taking the papers from 2003 to 2004 and 2-year window it has been taken, and in the 2-year window what is the total number of publication and what is the total number of citation for that particular journal they will take. For example, if they have 500 citations for 100 paper, they will divide it 500 divided by 100. So impact factor of that journal will be 5. So in case of site score also the similar concept is applied. It is being taken for a window of 4 years. That is, here the citation is 800. For an example it is being told, and we have a document 200. So 800 divided by 200, the site score will be 4. And the citations depends upon the publicity of the paper, or sometimes if it is an open access, more number of citations also we will get. If you take a Scopus database, if you click the author screen, it will be showing the total number of paper published and the citation, and the H index also will be there. Next, coming to the H index, it measures the productivity and the impact of the journal. For example, it will be somewhat difficult to understand. For example, if you have 5 papers published in a journal and each have some citation. For example, first paper have 5 citation, second paper have 6 citation. All the other 3 papers have 1 citation. Now your H index will be 2. The H index is the total number of paper with total number of citations. If any 2 papers have more than 2 citation, it is called as the impact factor, or H index will be 2. So based upon the number of papers and number of citation, your H index will be measured. So it is another way of productivity of your author also. So these are the important terms which is being used in the publication point of view. So now I am coming to an ethical thing. One is plagiarism and self-plagiarism. First one, plagiarism is, suppose if you are using others' work without any credit. You are taking a sentence from others' work and you are using in your paper and without giving a referencing. It is a plagiarism. It is not ethical and it is not allowed also in the journal publication or even in a conference publication. The maximum limit of plagiarism allowed is 15% in the conference paper and also in the journal. Sometimes you feel that I am using my own words which is already been published in other journal. That is also an unethical one. It is called as a self-plagiarism. Both these plagiarism are not allowed in the publication. And one more, nowadays we have a AI plagiarism also. In AI plagiarism, we will be using AI context. Whenever you are using that AI tools like ChatGPT, you cannot use the work as it is or the sentence as it is. You have to rewrite in your own words to remove a AI plagiarism. Nowadays there are many tools are available to remove the AI plagiarism also. Next, the conflict of interest is also an important term which is being used in the publication world. It is, suppose in your journal which is being published, you have 4-5 authors. The 4-5 authors should not have a conflict of interest. Why this declaration is asked by the journal people is, suppose if any one of the people have a conflict of interest, any one of the author have a conflict of interest, so they may claim that this work I didn't permit to get published. So it will be an issue for the journal who is publishing your work. So they will be asking you for giving a declaration of conflict of interest. In the next slide, I'll show you how you have to present all your declaration statements. Then the retraction. Retraction is a negative word in a publication world. Like after your publication also, after 1 or 2 years also, your paper can get retracted. Retracted in the sense it is being withdrawn from the published article. The reason why it is being withdrawn may be your methodology which you have used is a similar kind where others have also used that, and sometimes it may be AI content may be more, or you have reproduced the same work also may be there. Sometimes the figure you have used without the consent of the previous author you may have used, without the copyright declaration if you have used, that also will become a retracted. Next one is a predatory journal. Predatory journal is a low quality of journal which will assure you to publish in a month of time or a 15 days of time without proper peer reviewing, and they will be charging a high. Sometimes this kind of predatory journal will be removed from the Scopus database and also SCI database. So you have to much more careful in the case of predatory journal. You should not submit your good work in this kind of journal, because it may get wasted, it may get removed from the Scopus database also, and you will not get any credit of publication. All your work will get wasted. So the retraction is also a negative thing, and if you are publishing in predatory journal also, your work will get retracted or removed, and your Scopus indexing will also be missed out. So these are some of the ethics and integrity terms which is being used in a journal publication. Next one is, this is a declaration statement which you will be providing in all the journal submission part. This kind of statement, it will be available, you have to produce after the conclusion and before the referencing sometime, or according to the journal requirement you have to provide it in a separate title page. Here the some of the terminology which you have to know and you have to provide in your journal paper is, first one is a credit author statement. In case of credit author statement, you are providing a contributor's role. That is, suppose if you have 7 authors in your paper, what is the contribution of the 7 authors for the particular paper or particular manuscript you have to provide. How you will be providing is, for example, first author, they helped in writing a whole manuscript, for example, that you have to write, drafting a manuscript. Second author helped in a methodology. Third author, they may help in a funding also, that you can mention. Fourth author, they helped in drafting all infographics also, you can write it down. Then fifth author may be used, maybe contributed for the writing or preparing the table, that also you can write out. Sometimes few may help in a software validation, that you have to write. So this credit author statement provides the contributor roles of each and every manuscript. Each and every author have to be mentioned over here, and their roles also you have to mention. That is a compulsory in all the journals. Next one is the ethical statement. Ethical statement, most of the journal won't ask. Sometimes if the journal is related to biomedical, or they will be asking, you have to provide the statement like none of the animal have been used in your research findings, or even some psychology related journal also they may ask. Sometimes if you are using human beings for survey related also, you have to provide that statement. So you have extracted data based on the mindset of the people and it is being used for survey, so that comes under ethical statement. Either human beings or animal, if they are used for your study, you have to write the ethical statement. Sometimes if you are using animals, you have to get the certification also, that is also required in an ethical statement. Next one is the declaration of interest or conflict of statement. Already we have seen, from all the authors you have to say that there is no conflict of interest for publishing this manuscript. Next one is a funding statement. In case of funding statement, sometimes it will be applicable, sometimes it won't be applicable for you. In case if you have provided some funding, based on the funding if you are publishing, you have to provide a funding statement, or else the funding statement is not required. In case of funding statement, you have to say that from which authority you have received the funding. For example, so and so government DST project it is being funded, and funding number also you have to write it down if it is applicable. Next one is the data available statement. Data available statement, it is up to you. They will be giving 3-4 options. If your manuscript has some data and it is available for some public and you have submitted to some repository, you can give the link of that repository. Or else if you feel that it is confidential, you can say that the data cannot be shared with the public. Sometimes you can say that the data will be available, made available on request. In most of the paper I'll use this statement because I'll not provide it on public. Whoever required can access our data, so let them, based on the requirement, we will be providing to the public. Next one is, nowadays they are giving a code availability statement also if applicable. If you are using any of the code in your manuscript and if you want to make it to a public also, you can make it, you can submit to a repository also. Next is acknowledgement. This is a basic thing. Suppose if you want to acknowledge somebody who have contributed to your manuscript also, you can do it, like you can give some of the testing you have done it from some laboratory or some people or some university have helped in your research, that you can mention in acknowledgement statement. So these are all the statement which declaration you have to provide it in your manuscript, either in the title page or the end of the conclusion part. Next one is the submission journey. How you will be taking your submission. Suppose if it is a conference, it's a very simple process. You are going to submit it. Either it is getting accepted or it is getting rejected. Sometime with few minor correction, it will be getting accepted. Then coming to the point of view of the journal submission, first you will be submitting to the journal and it will go to the editor office, that is called as editorial desk. In there sometimes they will be asking for some of the amendments. Suppose referencing is not in a format and you have to add some keywords which is relevant to the scope of the journal. All those amendments you have to do. They will be return your manuscript and again you have to upload with all some correction. Second, suppose if it is gone through, it will be going to the editor. And the editor will check the scope of the journal, and editor also sometimes gives some manuscript. Sometimes it may reject back from the editor office to resubmit, or else it will move to the, if he is satisfied with the paper, it will be moving to the reviewer part. The requirement of the reviewer or calling the reviewer based on the journal, they may go even up to 10 or they may limit even up to 2. So, some of the journal you can see it in the tracker, how many reviewer it have been sent, how many have been accepted, how many is in review process, all those things also you can check. Then after it goes to the reviewer, 2 or 3 reviewer may be replying and the editor again consolidate all the reviewer comments, again they will be sending it to you and you have to address the reviewer comments and you have to send it back. Like this 2 times peer review will conducted for all the journal papers and then finally it may get accepted or it may get rejected. For example, if they are returning it back or they are rejecting from the first peer review itself, it will get rejected. In most of the cases, 99% of the cases, if it is moving to a second reviewer, second peer review, your paper will be getting accepted, possibility is more. So this is the flow process for submitting to a conference or to a journal. Suppose if it is a book chapter, they may ask you to submit an abstract and the abstract may get accepted, then you have to submit the full chapter of the book, or else they will be directly asking you to submit the full chapter also. This is like a do or die game. Either they accept or they will reject. The most of the time the review process will be minimalized in case of conference and also in the book chapters. Next, coming to the part why your manuscript is getting rejected, it is most important thing. Suppose if your scope or relevancy is not there, if you lack the novelty, nothing is new in your paper, automatically it will get rejected. You have a poor structure and organization, even though your ideology is good, you don't know how to structure your paper also, it will get rejected. Next is some methodological issue, methodology which you use is not a new one, also it will get rejected. Adequate literature review, if your literature is not relevant, sometimes you are working on a water quality paper, by knowingly and unknowingly some concrete related references is there, automatically you will get a comment that your references is not good. Or sometimes if you have a very minimal reference for a review paper also, you may get a comment like your referencing is not good. Next one, lack of flow, the flow of your manuscript, your ideology is good, there is a novelty in paper, but the readers will find difficult to read your paper, the flow is good or not good also, you may get rejected. Next one is in-depth analysis. As I told earlier, each and everything you should not be in an outside world. It should be an in-depth analysis should be there. In such case also, you will get the rejection of your manuscript. Then poor writing qualities. Nowadays you have more AI tools like Grammarly, Quillbot, Paperpal to enhance your writing. In case if you have a poor writing quality also, your paper will get rejected. Some of the Springer paper, they are checking your writing quality and giving you a numbering also. If it is 4 or 6, the writing quality is less, they are rating your quality of the paper also. Next, your illustration or graphical representation should be of a good quality. And then issues with the representing of the table. If the table is not presented in an effective manner also, you will be rejecting, you will get rejection. So these are all the common reasons for your manuscript to get rejected. If you know what is the cause for rejection, automatically there will be a scope for improving your manuscript. So how I want to get my paper accepted? First thing is you just choose a title in a recent research area. Okay, the title itself should be informative, and editor should feel that your research paper is worthy. Next one, the informative content should be there. Don't go for redoing the work and again. It should not be a repetitive of old work. Clarity of the image should be there. Sentence flow or the flow of the work should be there. There should be an informative table. I always insist that you don't give a theory part in your table. Instead, you insert more numericals in your table. Example, I can say my efficiency is good. Instead, I can say my efficiency is 90%, 96%. Like that, this is a numerical. You have to give more numerical in your table. Then concentrate on referencing. Use some AI tool for referencing. Most of the time, the mistakes can be avoided. So this is how you can enhance your paper to get accepted. Next one is what is the hierarchy of the publication level? All of you know book chapters and conferences is easier in acceptance. If you go to Scopus, Q4, paid, again it will be easy. The higher publication level will be SCA with high impact factor. Nowadays they are speaking on top 10 percentage also, quartile also. So accordingly your time duration or the rejection rate or the toughness will get increased. So how you can enhance your scientific paper? First one, title. You have to describe your title in an effective way. If they read your title itself, they will understand what you are doing in the whole paper. In the next coming slide, I'll tell you how you have to frame a title, how you have to frame abstract and introduction. Then introduction, there should be context and also the gap should be properly specified. In materials, properly explain the experimental design. Few people have a tendency that others should not copy your work. It should not be your intention. You should think that the users or the readers should get benefited. Then the results is the summary of your findings, and the discussion you have to explain or interpret your results, and you have to summarize your finding in terms of conclusion part. Then there should be acknowledgement, declaration should be there, then the referencing should be there. Referencing also you should have a small precaution that all the paper which have been cited should be there in the references. Next, now you can identify your research area, choose your topic for research writing, and from the broaden area try to narrow it down. First you just tell the specialization where you want to write the paper. Then you have to specify what methodology you are using, what kind of analysis you are using. All those things, if you drop down or drag down in a narrower area, what material you are using, what type of experimentation which you are using, all those things, if you are able to narrow it down, automatically your paper will be of an enhanced one. The title will be of a good one. Then after finalizing a title, you have to finalize how many illustration drawing you are planning for your work, how many tables, subheadings, references, all those things you have to go for a pre-planning. So now what you are doing is the structuring or your framing outline of your paper. Okay, first now what we did, we have chosen the approximate title and you have framed the outline of the paper also. Now I have given you four different titles. You can find the difference in the first title and also the last title. The last title, second title look more informative. They have told what modeling they are using. They told what treatment process they are using also. So by this you can frame the title in a stronger way. Next, in case of writing abstract, it is like a trailer for a movie. So 20 pages of your manuscript is provided in a 200 words, where you have to provide all the data in the abstract. Most of the readers will read the abstract and get enhanced, or will choose whether to read your paper or not. So in the abstract you should write the background, you should write the research gap, and you should write the methodology which you are using, and what is the usage of your work. All those things should be there. Then coming to the keywords, you should maintain 5 to 6 keywords, because why I am suggesting 5 to 6 is most of the journal prefer the maximum limit of 6 keywords, so you can choose maximum of 6 keywords. By reading the abstract, they should know the importance of your work. Next is introduction part. The introduction part, you have to say about the background in the sense it should be of a global view. Then the research gap, the previous researchers what they missed out, that is the research gap. And then the objective of your paper, then methodology used, how your paper will contribute to the society, and the implication also you have to say. This is how you have to write your introduction and the abstract, title choosing and keywords. I think I have given some of the input which is valuable for writing an academic paper. Thank you one and all.